President Trump's health care speech in a hospital hallway spirals into chaos when a top doctor accuses him of failing patients, but his response leaves everyone stunned. President Trump stood confidently in the hospital hallway, his blue suit, sharp red tie catching the light as he faced a small crowd of reporters and hospital staff. Behind him, Dr. Marcus Andrews, the chief of surgery, adjusted his glasses, his white coat crisp, a clipboard tucked under his arm. A blue sign on the wall proclaimed, "Health care for all," the centerpiece of Trump's latest policy. Push cameras flashed, microphones hovered, and the hospital beds lining the corridor stood empty, a silent backdrop to the tension brewing in the air. Trump raised his hands, his voice booming. "Folks, we're here today to celebrate a huge win for America," he began. "My health care for all initiative is the best thing to happen to this country. Believe me, everyone's getting care. Costs are down and hospitals like this one are thriving." The reporters scribbled notes, some nodding, but Dr. Andrews shifted uncomfortably, his jaw tightening. Trump continued, gesturing widely. "We've done what nobody else could. We've fixed healthcare, and I'm proud to say it's working perfectly." That's when Dr. Andrews stepped forward, his voice cutting through the air like a blade. "With all due respect, Mr. President, that's not true," he said, his tone firm, almost trembling with frustration. The hallway went silent, the reporters freezing mid-note. Trump turned, his arms still outstretched, his expression shifting to surprise. "What did you say, Doctor?" Trump asked, his voice lowering, eyes narrowing. Dr. Andrews held up his clipboard, his hands steady but his voice rising. "I said it's not true, sir," he repeated. "This hospital has turned away dozens of patients this month alone because your plan isn't working. People can't afford the care they need and we're forced to watch them suffer." The crowd gasped, a ripple of shock spreading through the hallway. A reporter dropped his pen, scrambling to pick it up while a nurse in the back covered her mouth. Trump's face hardened, his hands dropping to his sides. "That's a bold claim, Doctor," he said, stepping closer. "You're telling me my plan, the best health care plan in history, is failing?" "I don't think so." Dr. Andrews didn't back down, his eyes locked on Trump's. "I'm not here to play politics, Mr. President," he said. "I'm here to save lives. Last week, a single mother came to us with a failing heart. We couldn't treat her because her insurance under your plan wouldn't cover the procedure. She's back home now waiting to die because we had no choice." The hallway felt electric, the tension thick enough to choke. On Trump's cheeks flushed, his voice rising to match the doctor's. "That's not my fault, Doctor," he snapped. "We've given hospitals more funding than ever before. If you can't manage your budget, maybe the problem's with you, not my plan." Dr. Andrews' face darkened, his grip on the clipboard tightening. "Funding doesn't help if the system is broken," so he shot back. "Your plan promises care for all, but it's leaving the poorest patients behind. We're turning away people every day, and I'm tired of watching families suffer while you stand here claiming victory." The reporters leaned in their cameras, capturing every word. A nurse whispered to another, her eyes wide, while a hospital administrator in the back shook his head, clearly nervous. Trump took a step closer, pointing a finger at Dr. Andrews. "You're out of line, Doctor," he said, his voice booming. "I've done more for healthcare than anyone in this country. You don't get to stand here and tell me I'm failing." Dr. Andrews didn't flinch, his voice steady but filled with raw emotion. "I'm not saying you don't care, Mr. President," he said. "I'm saying your plan isn't working for everyone. That woman I told you about, she's not a statistic. She's a mother, a daughter, a person, and right now she's dying because we couldn't help her. Tell me, sir, how is that a victory?" The hallway fell silent again, the weight of Dr. Andrews' words hanging heavy. Trump froze, his finger still raised, his mouth open, but no words coming out. The crowd held its breath, waiting to see what he'd do next. For a moment, it seemed like the argument might explode further, the two men locked in a battle of wills, but then Trump lowered his hand, his expression softening, his voice dropping to a quieter tone. "You're saying people are slipping through the cracks," he said, more a statement than a question. Dr. Andrews nodded, his shoulders relaxing slightly. "Yes, sir," he said, "that's exactly what I'm saying. We need a system that truly covers everyone, no exceptions." Trump took a deep breath, running a hand through his hair, his gaze shifting to the health care for all sign on the wall. He turned back to Dr. Andrews, his tone steady but sincere. "I hear you, Doctor," he said. "I didn't come here to argue. I came here to make things better. If there are cracks in the system, we'll fix them. That's a promise." Dr. Andrews blinked, caught off guard by the shift. Trump continued, gesturing to his team standing near the hallway's exit. "I'm going to have my people look into this right away," he said. "We'll investigate every case where patients were turned away, and we'll make sure no one else falls through the cracks." "You have my word," the crowd murmured softly, a mix of surprise and relief. Dr. Andrews exhaled, his expression softening. "Thank you, Mr. President," he said, his voice genuine. "That's all I wanted, for someone to listen, for someone to act." Trump nodded, a small smile crossing his face. "You're a good Dr. Andrews," he said. "Keep fighting for your patients. We'll fight for them too." He turned to the reporters, raising his voice slightly. "You heard it here, folks. We're going to make health care even better. That's what we do in America." The hallway broke into light applause, the tension dissolving into a sense of hope. Dr. Andrews stepped back, offering Trump a respectful nod. Trump gave him a quick pat on the shoulder. then turned walking down the corridor toward the exit, his team following closely behind. The reporters scrambled to follow, their cameras flashing as the hospital staff watched him go, a renewed sense of purpose in the air. If this moment gripped you, don't forget to subscribe to Legendary Stories for more moments that inspire and challenge us. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in Trump's shoes? Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful